As you saw, the rally was packed with supporters of the former president, including many people who were sitting directly behind him. We are hearing from some of those people tonight.
Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand back now with those eyewitness accounts of the shooting and the chaos that followed. Jory?
Hard to imagine putting yourself in that spot today, being there as a witness to this, and you can imagine there is a fair amount of trauma for a lot of people there tonight. The families, of course, of the shooting victims. And those who witnessed it all play out before their eyes. We've heard from several people tonight who helped triage some of those victims. One of those victims did not survive. Here now just a few of the stories told in Butler, Pennsylvania today.
The bullets rattled around the grandstand. One hit the speaker tower, and then chaos broke. We hit the ground, and the police converged to the grandstands.
We assisted with two patients that may have gotten shot up in the grandstand, and we cleared a path for getting them out of the way. And it's just a sad day for America.
As soon as the gunshots rang out, most of us had hit the ground. It was a scary situation. You're in a fishbowl, with the former president, and you don't know, where the shots are coming from and who they're coming from, and it was a pretty traumatic situation, I think, for everybody.
All of a sudden, it sounds like firecrackers going off, but then I heard the shots, and then all of a sudden, somebody hollers, "Get down on the ground," and everybody's going down on the ground as low as they can get. Then the Secret Service comes running up through and says, "Everybody out, get out of here now." And they ushered us out of the area.
Everybody stood together and everybody screamed out the Father's Prayer and everybody prayed together. That was amazing. That was something that was beautiful. That was really cool.
The United States has a long and troubling history of political assassinations and attempts. We've lost 4 presidents to gun violence, beginning with Abraham Lincoln. 16 years after that, James Garfield was shot and killed. 20 years after that, William McKinley was assassinated, and most recently, John F. Kennedy in 1963. Here in California, we have our own tragic history involving JFK's younger brother, Robert Kennedy, who was poised to win the Democratic nomination in 1968. He had just picked up California when he was shot and killed here in Los Angeles at the Ambassador Hotel, which has since been torn down, but in what is now Koreatown. Sirhan Sirhan was convicted of the killing, although we do want to note RFK's son, Robert Kennedy Jr., who himself is now running for president, maintained that Sirhan was not the killer, saying it was a member of his father's security detail. Still, this was a murder that rocked the nation and followed the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. by just a few months. The last time a sitting president was shot was back in 1981. Ronald Reagan, just 2 months into office, when he was shot by John Hinckley Jr., an attack that very nearly cost President Reagan his life and also paralyzed his press secretary, James Brady. There's another case very similar to today's. Back in 1912, former President Teddy Roosevelt was running for another term. He was shot entering a campaign rally and famously still gave that speech that night. More recently, Gerald Ford had multiple attempts on his life. For those of a certain age, the name Squeaky Fromm will ring a bell. And in 1972, George Wallace, former Alabama governor, was campaigning in Maryland. He was shot multiple times and survived that attack. We can only hope that today's attempt on President Trump is the last. But you think about that time period, 63, 68, 72, 75, 81. This was happening every few years, but we have not seen it in 2 generations until today.
In part, that's maybe due to the expertise of the Secret Service and security officials, those same expertise at this point being called into question after what happened today.
Now, putting that perimeter around a candidate, a president, a former president, not even allowing that opportunity. The question now, of course, is how they allowed this gunman to get so close and able to get those shots off today.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.